Once I spent the night with my friends Sergey and Ira after a good drink in honor of their wedding anniversary. Driving a car in my condition was fraught, and he had a large house, inherited from his grandmother, where there are many rooms. A reasonable offer, especially for a bachelor, whom no one is waiting for at home. Look, we often turn off the lights at night, Serge warned me. So be careful. My son is always throwing toys around. Once he nearly killed himself. I said that I understood everything, and taking the bed linen, I went to bed. Either I got too many impressions that evening, or the new place affected, but I slept exceptionally badly. I constantly had some kind of nightmares. It was stuffy, and this was with the window wide open. At about 2 o'clock in the morning, in addition to everything, I was overcome by a terrible dry land. And if I still somehow struggled with nightmares, then thirst made me finally wake up and go in search of water. There was no light in the house, as Serge had promised. However, my eyes had already become accustomed to the darkness, so I did not experience any particular problems. When I reached the refrigerator, I took out a pack of cold juice and halved it in one fell swoop. Then I heard a soft, barely audible cry of a child. I frowned. Only Plato, Sergei's 4-year-old son, could cry. I stood in the kitchen for a while listening, but the crying continued and Ira and Sergei, apparently, were sleeping too soundly. I returned the juice to the refrigerator and decided to see what was happening with the child. On the one hand, this of course was not my concern, but to pretend that I did not hear anything, and I could not go to bed either. Following the sound, I reached a door at the far end of the corridor and stopped. The crying was most definitely coming from behind the door, so I opened it and peered into the room. A typical children's room, a spread-out bed on the left, a table by the window, a bulk of a wardrobe with a dark spot on the right side. Plato? I asked softly. This is Uncle Dennis. Why are you crying? Someone stirred in the corner. The crying subsided. Aha, here is Plato. I got, and went into the room. Closing the door behind me, I went up to the baby, who was sitting in the corner wrapped in a blanket and softly sobbing, hugging some kind of toy. Well, I asked as kindly as possible, and why are we roaring? Plato was silent, then quietly said, there is a scarecrow here. What? Behind me, the child whispered very quietly. I turned around. Of course, there was no one behind. It's in the closet. Plato stood next to me, waiting for you to leave. I, muttering the words put at such moments that they say, it was all a dream, and there is nothing here, went to the closet. Plato remained standing in the corner. See, there's nothing here, I said, and opened the door. The closet was indeed empty. I persuaded Plato to go to bed, wished him good night, and promised just a little to immediately punish any scarecrow within this house. Sergei woke me up in the morning. We had breakfast with him, and began to gather for fishing. Already near the lake, I remembered my night adventure, and told it to my friend. Serge remained silent and said, expand. What? I looked at my friend in surprise. He was pale as death. Plato slept all night next to us. And in the back room along the corridor, my older brother was sleeping a long time ago. Brother? Serge nodded. He was found dead when he was 4. He said he saw something coming out of the closet. And my son says he sees it too.